Okay, what if I told you that the best lessons in, say, branding, finance, even HR, weren't in some dusty MBA textbook?
Oh, I'd be intrigued.
What if they were, like, tattooed on a guitarist's arm or screamed out from a massive stadium stage?
It's a great hook. And the more you dig into the source material we're looking at today, the more you realize it's not just a fun idea. The business insights are surprisingly serious.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive into the business wisdom of the performance world, and we're pulling lessons straight from the book Rockstar MBA.
We're really going after that old idea that art and business are, total opposites.
Right. Our whole mission here is to show you how they're actually two sides of the same coin. They're both about creativity, creating value, and I think most importantly about connecting with people.
And the force for this is fantastic. It's from Dr. Martin J. McDermott, who's been a business professor for over 25 years. He had this lifelong obsession with rock music and just realized it was packed with these really practical business truths.
And the whole philosophy behind this deep dive, the bedrock of it all, it comes from this one amazing quote.
Yeah, from Jan Van Halen, the father of Eddie Van Halen.
He said, "You can learn from everybody what to do and what not to do, mostly what not to do."
I love that. It's so perfect. It's this idea that success leaves clues, right? But so does failure. And if you really watch the journey of these artists, you see it all.
You can literally map their strategies, their finances, their big failures directly onto your own career.
So whether you're, prepping for a pitch or managing a small team, or you just want a fresh angle on business strategy, this stuff applies. We're basically getting a backstage pass to how a global enterprise is run.
And that's the thing, the rock band.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get into the author's journey a bit, because that's why he saw all this in the first place.
Right.
Dr. McDermott's whole theory started because he had this massive obsession with rock music, starting when he was, like 15 in the 80s.
Yeah, and for him, it wasn't just entertainment. He talks about music being this stabilizing force, a friend, he calls it, that helped him get through some tough teenage years.
That context is so important. He wasn't just, listening to the songs. He was absorbing the entire ecosystem.
The whole thing. Who produced it, the tour logistics, how the band members got along.
Or didn't get along.
Right. And that deep dive into the tiny details of the industry, that's what laid the groundwork for his business analysis later on.
Which brings us to the core aha moment of this whole section. He calls it the garage startup parallel.
Mm-hmm. He spent years watching local bands. Some made it, some fizzled out. And he just realized a rock band is basically an entrepreneurial venture.
Started in a garage, a bedroom, a basement.
Exactly. It's a high-risk business, just, disguised in creativity. Someone has a vision, they scrape together some resources, and they fail a lot.
Bad gigs, broken down vans, demos that go nowhere.
All of it, before they find any real success.
It makes you think of that Ariana Huffington quote, "Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success."
It's a perfect fit. Every forgotten lyric, every canceled show, that's not just an artistic mistake.
It's market research.
Yes, it's a very expensive lesson in what your customer will or won't pay for.
So if the garage startup is the big idea, we need to look at the nuts and bolts. The claim is that rock stars deal with the same corporate issues as a Fortune 500 company.
They do, just often without the safety net.
Okay, I could see the parallel, but surely the pressures are different. A global tour versus a big corporation. Where does that analogy really hold up?
It holds up perfectly when you look at the functional divisions. Let's just take finance and accounting.
All right.
A band has to track revenue from ticket sales, merch, streaming royalties. Their cost of goods sold is literally the cost of making the T-shirts and the vinyl.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the really corporate jargon like SG&A expenses, selling, general, and administrative?
That's just the overhead for keeping the whole machine running. It's salaries for the road crew, fuel for the tour bus, equipment repairs, the manager's cut, taxes, all of it.
So the tour manager is basically the acting CFO.
100%. They're responsible for maximizing the profit margin on a product that is incredibly volatile, a live show. They have to calculate if the ticket sales in, say, Tulsa, are actually going to cover the SG&A of getting everyone and everything there.
Wow. Suddenly, touring sounds like a masterclass in supply chain management.
It is. And then you get to marketing factors. The band's image, their logo, that's their brand identity.
And it needs constant work. Look at a band like Kiss. Their success wasn't just the music.
Not at all. It was branding, PR, merchandise deals, and now it's nonstop social media and digital marketing.
Which flows right into the legal side of things.
Immediately. The music is worthless if the IP isn't protected. We're talking about trademarking the band name, copywriting every single riff and lyric.
It's not just a contract with a venue.
No, the real insight is that the songwriter's intellectual property is the entire business. That requires a lawyer's level of vigilance. It's a huge lesson for any entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Your idea is fragile. You have to legally protect it.
And then there's the most explosive part of it all, human resources.
Oh, yeah. The volatility is off the charts. You're constantly hiring and firing these incredibly talented, often very eccentric people, musicians, producers, roadies, managers.
Band breakups are basically catastrophic HR failures played out in public.
Absolutely. It's about way more than just talent. It's management, it's leadership. When a key songwriter quits, the company's entire future revenue stream is at risk. It forces a complete restructuring.
Just like when a key executive leaves a company.
It's the exact same challenge. The lesson is that things like cultural fit and resolving conflict are just as important as pure talent.
Okay, so a band has to be a well-oiled company to succeed. We've got the structural blueprint, but what about the operating manual, the soft skills?
For that, we have to leave the stadium and step onto a different kind of stage, the stage of customer service and the performing arts.
And this brings us to Nancy Friedman, the telephone doctor, an actress who became a business consultant.
Her whole focus is on improving customer service by looking at it through the lens of performance.
What I find so surprising is her big, almost revolutionary idea about theater education.
Right. She argues that every single student, grade school, high school, college should take a theater course.
Why? What's the core reason?
Because, as she puts it, everything in theater applies to business and life, especially those fundamental skills like really listening and making good eye contact.
She says Theater 101 isn't just an elective, it's basically a boot camp for any job you could possibly have. She even thinks employers should ask about it in interviews.
Yeah, her argument is that people with that background just get the customer mentality faster and usually better than people with traditional business training.
It makes a lot of sense. When you're on stage, the stakes are high and the feedback is instant. If the audience isn't buying it, you know right away.
Let's break down some of those specific skills, maybe group them into a few key areas.
Good idea.
Okay, so first up is what we could call discipline and reliability. In business, we'd call it professionalism. In theater, it means being on time.
Punctuality.
And realizing that your personal problems don't matter once the curtain goes up. The audience doesn't care that you were stuck in traffic. Your problems are just your problems.
That's the show must go on mindset, which is, that's professional endurance, right? No matter how tired you are, you have to deliver. It even teaches you how to put on a professional face.
A phony smile when you need it, even if everything backstage is a total disaster.
Okay, what's the second area?
Adaptability and improvisation. When someone forgets a line or a mic cuts out, you can't just stop the show.
You have to improvise.
Instantly. You have to go with the flow, help out your scene partner if they're lost. And that skill is so critical in sales or customer service where every single interaction is unscripted.
It's all about creative problem solving on the fly.
The third area is huge for modern companies. Teamwork over ego.
Ah, yes.
In theater, everyone understands the applause at the end isn't just for the star, it's for the whole team, the lighting crew, the stagehands, everyone.
It forces you to learn not to complain, to work with people you might not even like, because the show's success is more important than your personal feelings.
That is the definition of a high-performing business team, making the outcome more important than individual issues.
And the final, and maybe the most crucial area.
I'd say it's audience centricity. This is where it all comes together. Theater forces you to learn how to deliver your lines so they sound fresh, no matter how many times you've said them.
And you have to get it right the first time. There's no delete button in a live performance.
And the only way to do that is through one thing: rehearsal. Practice makes perfect. But in theater, rehearsal is all about making a rigid script sound natural and effortless.
So if you can read a script without sounding like you're reading a script,
You've mastered professional communication.
and the big analogy that Friedman uses to tie it all together is so simple. The theater mind always considers the audience before itself.
That's it. Customer service is the stage, and the customers are your audience. Every single interaction, a phone call, an email, a sales pitch, it's a performance. If you really internalize that, the audience's experience becomes your only metric for success.
So after all that, what does this all mean for you, the person listening? We've covered two pretty different worlds today.
Right. First, we saw that the structure of a rock band proves that creative vision is basically pointless without rigorous, practical planning. Financial, legal, HR.
Every garage band has to be run like a business.
And second, the performing arts, especially theater, give you those essential soft skills: improvisation, teamwork, and that intense focus on the audience. Skills you need in any industry, really.
And it all comes back to Jan Van Halen's wisdom, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You learn from everyone what to do, and probably more importantly, what not to do.
These high-stakes, very public, creative fields are just perfect business classrooms.
It really is.
Which leaves us with a final question for you, a thought that kind of ties both of these threads together. Given how important rehearsal is for sounding fresh and for getting it right the first time on stage, how much of your own professional routine, that weekly meeting you run, that quarterly presentation, that standard sales pitch, how much of that could you reframe as a continuous rehearsal? A rehearsal for the moments you have to perform live for your audience?
That's a great question. Think about that script you deliver every week. Are you
Yeah.
just kind of phoning it in, doing a tired read-through?
Or are you treating it like a fully rehearsed performance, designed for maximum impact?
The stage is always set for you. But the quality of the show, that's entirely up to the work you put in before the curtain ever rises.